hand if you've ever heard someone say, "You have so much potential." Now, keep your hand raised if someone has ever taught you what to do with that potential. Look around. This is our quiet crisis. We have become world-class experts at recognizing potential, but absolute beginners at activating it. When you spend your life decoding the way human beings project themselves, you start to notice a fascinating cultural blind spot. Nowadays, society treats potential as a compliment. Conversely, potential isn't an achievement. It is simply unfinished work. Ultimately, you cannot get something out of it that you're not willing to put into it. To see what this looks like in reality, imagine two batteries. One is brimming with energy, the other is only half charged. If neither is ever plugged into a device, which one actually changes the world? Neither. Potential without action is completely inert. Yet, when you are young, everyone speaks of you in the future tense. You will do amazing things, they promise. You will become successful and make us proud. Inadvertently, without realizing it, you begin to let the world treat your life as a tomorrow problem, slowly falling into the trap of believing that simply holding the spark is enough to light up the dark. However, after crossing paths with hundreds of people across different walks of life, I unearthed a quiet irony. The people with the most potential are not always the people who move the furthest. In fact, sometimes they are the ones who stay exactly where they are. The truth is, potential isn't a rare gem. Unused potential is the dirt beneath our feet. The world is crowded with silent geniuses who lock their brilliant ideas in vaults. Dreamers who dream empires on napkins but never lay a single brick. Also vibrant souls who dress to disappear when they were born to be remembered. Driven by fear, they end up trapped in the cycle of hesitation, hiding behind whispers of "I'll do it later," "I'm not ready," "What will people think?" Until they become tragically invisible despite their blinding ability. What happened? Did they suddenly lose their talent? No. They simply kept the switch flipped off, denying the world a chance to ever see them shine. Psychological research highlights a compelling trap. Students who are constantly praised for being smart often become the most terrified of difficult challenges. Their fear doesn't arise from a shortage of actual capability. Instead, failure suddenly feels like a dangerous threat to their identity. They stop choosing paths where they might struggle. They retreat to safe zones where success is guaranteed, deciding that protecting their flawless image is more imperative than expanding their own abilities. And right there, in that comfort zone, is where potential silently begins to expire. But what do we actually mean when we talk about our image in the context of our potential? Most people look outward, thinking an image is simply the reflection we cast into the eyes of others. I believe it runs much deeper. The image you carry of yourself acts as a lens. It directly controls how much of your inner power the world is ever permitted to see. Over the years, I began noticing a tragic pattern. Potential doesn't dissolve from a lack of raw capability. It suffocates in the empty space between who we truly are and how we choose to show up. I call this phenomena the three mirrors of potential. First and foremost, the mirror of conviction. Thereafter, the mirror of projection. And lastly, the mirror of declaration. When all three of these mirrors align, something magical happens. The world doesn't experience you as perfect. It experiences you as aligned, as authentic. You are no longer scattered or fragmented. You're perfectly aligned. Let's break each of these three mirrors to see what is hiding beneath the glass. The mirror of conviction reflects what you secretly believe about yourself. Here is a liberating truth. You were not born doubting your own architecture. Doubt is an outsourced software that was installed into your mind. And what was installed can be uninstalled. Many of our core beliefs arrived long before we were old enough to question them. We were handed scripts disguised as rules. Good girls don't speak too loudly. Boys shouldn't cry. Don't make mistakes. Over time, those outside voices stop sounding like a crowd. They begin to sound like your own echo. So ask yourself the question that scatters my own thinking. Do I actually believe this about myself? Or have I heard the lie so many times that I mistook it for the truth? True confidence doesn't wait for your circumstances to shift. It demands that you change your internal scenery first. Once your internal scenery changes, it naturally flows into what you wear. The mirror of projection reflects what you choose to show the world. And make no mistake, this is about far more than fashion. It is about congruence. Long before you utter a single word, your appearance has already stepped onto the stage and introduced you. I am not talking about genetic beauty, and I'm certainly not talking about the designer brands you wear. I am talking about the choices you make, the way you carry your frame, the care you put into your details, and the physical space you allow your body to occupy. Think about it. Have you ever stepped into an outfit, looked in the mirror, absolutely loved it, and then stripped it off? Because a voice whispered, "What will people say?" We have all done it. But every time you edit your authentic style to evade judgments, you send a quiet damaging signal into your subconscious. Being myself isn't safe. The ultimate goal of dressing is visual alignment, not manipulation. Letting the fabric on the outside accurately reflect the truth on the inside. That is the exact moment you transition from trying to look important to be inspiring others to be authentic. So stop looking at your wardrobe and asking, will they like this? Start asking, does this feel like me? Bingo! Right there is your answer. Your presentation might get you to the doors, but your self-expression is what creates a lasting impression. Let's dig one step deeper past the fabric into the third mirror, the mirror of declaration. That is your voice, not its acoustic pitch, but its weight. It is how you defend ideas, claim values, and draw boundaries. Your voice is an identity made audible. Confidence isn't loud. It is clear. It dares to speak, to breathe, and to finish its sentence. Every time you apologize, over-explain, or soften your truth, you aren't protecting yourself. You are erasing yourself. Every unsaid sentence is a grave for your potential. When your three mirrors, belief, appearance, and voice align, the internal war ends. You stop wasting energy acting out different characters for family, work, or social media. Most people survive their inner friction by shrinking their dreams. This alignment expands their capacity. When your identity stops competing with itself, your power stops competing with itself too. The final challenge. Before you walk out, ask yourself, what inherited script is still running your life? What style choice actually looks your true self? What conversation are you pausing because you are waiting to feel ready? Potential doesn't rust. It suffocates when we delay. The true cost of unused potential isn't the race you lost. It is the starting line you never crossed. So stop collecting compliments about your potential. Start creating evidence of it. Raise your hand, apply anyway, speak anyway, create anyway. Potential isn't a badge you wear. It is a reality you deploy. The world doesn't need more people with potential. It needs people willing to express it.